Once upon a time, in a small town nestled deep in the woods, there lived a young girl named Emily. Emily was a kind and friendly girl, loved by all who knew her. But there was one thing about her that set her apart from the other children in town. She had a strange fascination with the old abandoned mansion that stood at the edge of the forest. The mansion had been abandoned for years, ever since the strange disappearance of the wealthy family that had once lived there. Many rumors had circulated about what had happened to the family, but no one really knew the truth. Some said they had been murdered by a crazed killer, while others believed they had fled the town to escape some dark and mysterious secret. Despite the rumors, Emily was drawn to the mansion. She spent hours wandering through its decaying halls and exploring its abandoned rooms. She loved the way the sunlight streamed through the broken windows, casting eerie shadows on the walls. She loved the way the wind whistled through the cracks in the walls, making the old house creak and moan. One day, as Emily was exploring the mansion, she heard a strange noise coming from the basement. It sounded like someone was shuffling around down there. At first, she was too scared to investigate, but her curiosity got the better of her and she slowly made her way down the creaky stairs. As she reached the bottom, she saw a figure hunched over in the corner, digging through a pile of old junk. The figure turned to face her, and Emily screamed in terror. It was a man, tall, thin, and gaunt, with wild eyes and a twisted smile. He was dressed in tattered clothes and his skin was covered in dirt and grime. "Hello there, little girl," the man said in a raspy voice. "What brings you to my home?" Emily was too frightened to speak, and the man slowly made his way towards her. As he drew closer, she could see that his hands were covered in blood. "Would you like to play a game?" the man asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Emily tried to run, but the man was too quick. He grabbed her by the arm and pulled her towards him, his twisted grin growing wider. For hours, Emily was trapped in the basement with the man, playing his twisted game of cat and mouse. Every time she tried to escape, he would catch her and drag her back. As the night wore on, Emily grew more and more terrified. She knew she had to find a way out before it was too late. Finally, as the sun began to rise, Emily managed to break free from the man's grasp and run for the door. She burst out into the fresh air and ran as fast as she could, not stopping until she had reached the safety of her own home. For weeks after the incident, Emily was haunted by nightmares of the man in the mansion. She never returned to the old house, but she could feel his eyes on her everywhere she went. She could hear his raspy voice whispering in her ear, promising to come back and finish their game. Years passed, and Emily grew up to be a successful and respected member of the community. But she never forgot the terror she had experienced in the old mansion, and she always kept a watchful eye out for the man who had haunted her dreams. And sometimes, on quiet nights, she could still hear the faint echo of his laughter, echoing through the forest and reminding her of the horrors she had faced so many years before.